Let me adjust my camera here a little bit. There we go. Hi everybody, I'm Sandy with Yarn Craft Country, and we're continuing on our knitting our beginner hat. I hope everybody's enjoying what we're doing so far. Please let me know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. Am I explaining things right? I would very much appreciate it. And I also would like to say thank you for all the subscribers that we have, and to some of our new ones that just joined. As everybody knows that our subscribers know that I'm Sandy from part of the Fashion Girls. Stacy will come on and show you in another video on what she's been working on, what she's enjoying for the winter, and we'll hope to show you that real soon. We're all feeling a little under the weather right now, so, just bear with us a little bit. But don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like button, and the notification button so that you can stay tuned to every video that we post. Okay? So now that we got that out of the way, I am having a blast just teaching you what I'm learning, and we're both learning at the same time. Yes, I do screw up too on some of my rows. I'm not perfect either, and nobody actually will be. Most experienced knitters will tell you that when it comes to knitting, nobody really is with perfect stitches. You're gonna have, your little flaws and things, but that is the true idea of calling it handmade. It's not manufactured and machine made, it's handmade. So, and it'll take you a while. It'll take you a while to get your tension right, your, and your stitches and all that. So don't be too hard on yourself if you're just starting out. Believe me, I was. So don't be too hard on yourself, okay? So now I'm going to click this off so I can change the camera around. And we will continue on where we left off on our other video. So this is part 2 of where we left off, and I'll be right with you. Okay, so now this is, I want to make sure it's going. Yes, we are. Okay, so this is what our hat is looking like. Okay, I apologize for my yucky nail. Yes, that was from the holidays. I didn't get to the manicurist yet, so I'll be doing it soon. Sorry about that. So now we're on our right side. How do we know that? The little your little non-working tail is on the left, and I also have it marked with this little marker here. Okay, so where we left off was on row 5. So we're on row 5. As you can tell here on the pattern, I have it marked right here. And this is one of the rows. We're doing our decrease rows and stuff. This one says we did the repeat row 2, which was purl 2, knit 1, and we did that to the end. We did 3, which was knit 2, purl 1 to the end. We repeated row 2. And now it says, so it's one thing, read your instructions really slowly so that you can understand exactly what you're doing. Because sometimes pattern instructions can be a little, they can be a little tricky. So we are on row 5. That's what I have checked. It's saying to knit 2 together. So now we're on another decrease row. So we're going to knit 2 together, purl 1, repeat from asterisk. The asterisk is right at the beginning here. So we're going to continue on until the last 2 stitches. We're going to knit 2. We should have 36 stitches. And I'm going to underline that. Okay, and I'm also going to erase where we left off so we don't get confused. Okay. So we're going to put our pattern and our pencil to the side. We're going to pick this up. So, now, this is our next row that we're knitting. And how do we know that? Because this is your working yarn. Your working yarn should always be at the top where you start. Yes, I'm using the circular needles. There would be 2 needles. There would be one here and one here. but I do that for ease, as I explained before. We're not knitting in a circle, we're flipping it back and forth, but it's just easier for me and easier for me to teach you. So now row 5. Okay, so we're going to knit 2 together, and how we did that was we took our needle, we put it through the second one, put it through the first one. This is how I knit my 2 together. See, like that. You want to cross them over. You want to put them in the front, just like you're going to knit a stitch, just like that. You're going to put it around like you would knit, and you're going to go down through the 2, and you're going to slip them off. And you just now knitted 2 stitches together. Now you see I had split a stitch a little bit there. I'm going to keep that on there and knit that when we go around to the end. That's my fault. I split the yarn. It's on the end, so it really isn't going to matter. Be careful of doing that. Like I said again, I'm not perfect. What I can just do that, but then you're going to have that little loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it on there, and I'll just knit it with it at the end. Okay, so it's not visible. All right, so that was, we knitted 2 together. Okay, now we're going to purl 1. How do I know? That's your little knob there, or your little loop. So that's a purl stitch. I'm going to bring that forward. I'm going to purl. Okay, that was a purl stitch. And it says repeat from to asterisk to the last 2 stitches. The asterisk is knit 2 together. Same thing. We're going to knit the next 2. We're going to go through those 2 stitches. 1, 2. We're going to go to the back, and we're going to knit these 2 stitches together. Okay? And keep your tension a little bit. We're going to purl. That's a purl stitch. Okay? And that's a purl. And we're going to keep doing that. Let me pull my yarn out. So we're going to knit 2 together again. 1, 2. So we're going to knit these 2 together. Slide them off. That's a purl stitch. And we're going to purl. Okay, so I'm just going to continue this 1, 2. I'm just going to continue this all the way down to the bottom. Knitting the 2. So watch your pattern. There's 2. And your purl. And your 2. Now see, I was a little tight there with my last, probably my last time with the stitches, so you can always tell. Again, your tension will ease up. That's a purl. You're knitting 2 together. 1, 2. Wow, see, my tension was a little too tight there. Okay. Knitting our 2. That's a purl. And again now, when we get to the end, we are definitely going to count, because you want to make sure how important it is to count those stitches. Okay, that was a purl because I was talking. It's a knit, and okay, so that's a purl. Now this is knit. And be sure you don't cross those stitches when you're knitting. Good. Little split the yarn again. Have to be careful of that. Okay. splitting that yarn. I have to be really careful, isn't it? Seems like I'm doing it on the decrease patterns, so that's, you don't have to be speedy with it. You know, take your time. Whoops. And that is one of the reasons why you count them at the end, because you want to make sure that you're not losing any stitches anywhere. Okay. Yeah. Again, I'm splitting those darn stitches today. You get those days, believe me. Sometimes they say the bamboo needles is what helps that. I mean, you know, it's up to you. Try what needles you like. If you like the bamboo needles, fine. If you don't, fine. See, I'm really splitting stitches today. I'm just, you know, you get those days. So, you know, but I like the aluminum needles or the plastic needles, the heavy plastic. Now I'm down to the last two. Let's see, was that my... Yeah. That's a big stitch. I don't know why. Okay. I'm down to my last two. And it says down to the last two stitches. It's telling me to... Okay. Knit two together, purl one. Repeat from asterisk to the last two stitches. Knit two. Okay, it doesn't say knit two together, it says knit two. All right, so 1, 2. All right, there we go. Now, let's see here. Now, it says we should have 36 stitches, so we're going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. We have 36 stitches. Now, okay. So... Okay. Hang on for 1 second, please. Okay. So I just had to check something. All right. So we have our 36 stitches. Now, the next row, which is row 6, says purl 2, knit 1, purl 1, repeat from asterisk to the end. So that one is a little bit more that you have to follow your pattern a little bit better. Okay. So. Alright. So this says we're going to purl 2. So we want to bring it forward. And remember what I said always about that first stitch. If it's a little loose, you want to, what you want to do is you want to get that better. You want to pull the tension on it a little bit better. Okay. So we pulled the tension. Now it's saying purl 2. So we're going to do 1. And that shows a purl. So that's right. So we're purling the first 2. Okay. There we go. Now it's saying to knit 1. So we're going to knit the next one. And then it's saying to purl 1. And that is a purl stitch. So we're purling that one. And repeat from the asterisk, which starts at the knit 1. And that is a knit stitch. See the V? So we're knitting. Next one says purl. That's a purl. So now we're gonna purl this one. That's a V, so that's a knit stitch. We're going to knit that one. That's a loop, that's a purl stitch. So we're going to purl that one. Okay? And it says repeat it to the asterisk all the way to the end. So that's pretty much self-explanatory on that one. Okay? So knit, purl. And we're going to do that to the end. See, your stitches actually on this row is telling you what to do. I always say my stitches kind of talk to me because that's what it is. See, that's knit. I'm talking to you. That's purl. That's a purl stitch. Knit, purl. Because it's showing you, basically it's showing you there what to do. Yeah, that was a purl. Yeah. Purl. Yeah. It's a V, so that's a knit. Purl. Yeah. Lots more. This is a purl. Knit. And then this is a purl. Remember we had that little split, so we're just gonna purl that stitch right in. Let's bring it through here. Okay. There we go. Alrighty. So now, that was row number 6. Okay. Now you can see it's decreased a little bit. See how it's starting to go in? That means it's starting to decrease into the crown of the hat. Okay. See your little decrease stitches and stuff? So that's the crown of the hat. So we did number 6. Number 7 is saying you're going to knit 2 together. Knit 2 together. Repeat from the asterisk to the end so that you have 18 stitches. So I'm going to try and get to this part. Possibly, I think I'm going to start with this part. Let me take a sip, and then we're going to start with it was knit 1, purl 1, we did it. Now we're on knit 2 together, so we're on row 7, so I'm going to mark it. Okay, I'm going to take a drink and we'll start row 7. Alrighty, so we're going to start with row 7. If you're wondering what that weird noise is in the back, that's my kitty sleeping. She's making weird noises. Her name is Lily. Okay, so we're on row 7. Alright. I marked it, that's where we're at. So we're going to, or the next row I should say, or the 7th step. This one says to knit 2 together. So 1, 2. So we're going to knit our 2 together. Okay. And then it says repeat from asterisk to end. You'll have 18 stitches. Okay, so I'm going to mark that. So we're just going to knit 2 together all the way to the end. Okay. My pencil was rolling. All right, 1, 2. So that's all we're going to do all the way to the end now, is we're going to knit 2 together. Okay, make sure you keep the tension a little bit. 2. 1, 2. Now this is really decreasing for the crown. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now this, you can't really go by what the stitch looks like if it's a knit or a purl, because this is the pattern you need to follow. Always follow the pattern. And it's saying knit 2. 1, 2. Which is right here. Okay. They're calling for some snow, possibly this weekend. I have to get my Christmas decorations down. Did all of you guys get your Christmas things down, or your holiday decorations, whatever holiday you might celebrate? I like putting them up, you know, and enjoying them. I hate this time of the year when you have to take them down. Everything looks so bare and bland, but you know, I'm not a big Valentine person. I lost my husband 10 years ago to cancer, and so, you know, it's just me and Stacy, and not a big Valentine's fan, but me and Stacy, we try to go out and have a nice dinner, you know, kind of girls' night out. So, but, and like I said, as far as, you know, knitting, it'll keep you occupied if the weather is nasty, or like I said, I like to do this just to calm my nerves a little bit. Some people say, oh, it gets me more frustrated. It won't. Once you get the hang of it a little bit, you'll enjoy, you'll want to do different stitches. In fact, I have a simple stitch that I want to try with you guys when I get a chance. It's called a basket weave stitch, and it just uses this knit stitch and the purl stitch, which you've already learned. So it's a simple stitch, but a nice pattern. It'd be a nice scarf or something like that. And these are my last 2, and I'm going to knit these 2 together. Oh, that last stitch is a little tight there. I did it, but okay. So I knitted my 2 together. Alrighty. Now, we should have 18 stitches. Again, count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So we have our 18 stitches, and you can see when we turn it around now that it's our working yarn. You can see where the decreases are, okay, in the hat itself. So you can see where the purl, you can see your knit stitches are, the rows are where the knit should be. Your purls are still in the middle. See where you're purling? So that kind of still stayed the same. So that means that you did everything right. It's still following the ribbing. See? Just that you decreased. All right. Now we have our 18 stitches. Okay. And the next row, it says to purl all the way across. So we'll do that. So the yarn's in front, and we're going to purl across the 18 stitches. Ugh, I have to get this right when we're, oops, no, I almost lost a stitch. We cannot do that. We have 18 stitches. Okay. Alrighty. I just have to get this in order myself. Alright, so we're going to purl right across. I'm doing it this way for you because I'm doing a whole row of purl. So, you know, just to show you guys. People do it with the right hand because they're right-handed. They use their yarn, the working yarn. I just can't get used to that, you know. Again, it's how you want to hold it. They can show you, everybody can show you how to hold it. You got to find your own way of holding it to get the right tension and the right comfortable level. I'm doing this because it's a whole row of purl. So you're putting it down through the front across, you're going around, and you're bringing it through. And it's just easier for me to get done. So, you know, again, it's how you want to do it. So we're purling across, and you will get proficient. Believe me. Do not fret and say, oh my gosh, she's so good, she goes fast. No, it'll come to you. I'm just doing it fast. So you go around, it's a purl. Down around, you want to bring your loop through and up. A lot of people have some problems with the purl stitch, but again, it will come to you. Okay, so we purled across the 18 stitches. Oops. All right. Okay, so we are on the last row where we're going to knit our 9 stitches. Okay, so it's saying knit 2 together and repeat from asterisk to the end, which is the knit 2 together. Okay, so let's do that. Oops. Let me double check this camera and make sure it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. I was just having, my card was getting full on my camera, and I just had to go ahead and try and fix it there a little bit for you. So now, actually, we did our purl row, which was that right there. And so now we're on our last row. Yay, the last row of our hat. So this says to knit knit 2 together, repeat from asterisk to end, which will leave you with 9 stitches. So it's what it's saying is at the asterisk, knit 2 together and repeat to the end. Okay. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Okay, we have our working yarn in the back. We're going to knit 2 together then all the way across. Okay. Like I said, I'm working with just a regular digital point and shoot digital camera. So I don't have a really good camera right now. Someday I'll get maybe a GoPro or something. But for right now, if I could get to those 1,000 subscribers, people, I could get a little bit better camera. So tell your friends and family. to get on and subscribe to my channel. Me and Stacy both would very much appreciate it. We have more clothing boxes and things coming, so okay. So we did that. That was very simple. We knitted 2 together all the way across. It's saying we should have 9 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Easy peasy. 9 stitches. I'm going to do a video like I said the other night. I just have to tighten up my needles a little bit. Okay. So there's our 9 stitches. And that's going to be the top of our hat. So you see, you can see the hat. The hat has formed at the top. And you can see this at the bottom. Okay. So, what we're going to do now is, okay, next row. So it's saying now to cut the yarn, leaving a long end for seaming. So seaming is you weave your yarn through remaining stitches, gather stitches up firmly. So you're not going to, quote, bind off, okay? All you're going to do is you're going to take your long end, you're going to weave it through the remaining stitches, gather up stitches firmly and secure, and sew the back seams, starting about 3 inches from the bottom. Sew the seam on the reverse side as it will be turned up for the brim. Okay. So let's see how this is going to work out. Weave yarn through remaining stitches, gather stitches up firmly and secure. Okay. Sew the back seam starting about 3 inches from the bottom. And sew the seam on the reverse side as it will be turned up for the brim. All right. So let me get my little needle and I'll be right back. Okay. So now I have the yarn needles right here. So just have to open the pack. Let's see if I can get one through. And you'll see they're pretty thick, and that's what you want. You want a yarn needle that'll go through everything. Okay. And this is a pretty big size one. I don't know. It's a little thicker than what I'm used to. The other one's a little bit thinner. But we'll try this one. Okay, so that's a nice steel yarn needle, has a big eye. And okay, so it's saying weave the yarn through the remaining stitches, gather them up firmly and secure. Okay. And it says to leave it for seaming, so sew the back seam, and you want to leave about 3 inches from the bottom. Well, it says starting about 3 inches from the bottom, which is kind of strange because then you would have to use this piece. And I don't know if there's going to be enough for seaming. So, all right, let's secure these. I'm just going to leave a long enough piece just in case. Because I see what they're saying, but okay. So we want to take our yarn. Okay, let's get it through the needle. Oh Lord. Split city today. Okay. And I draw it up through pretty much. Okay, so now we want to take it off like this. We're not, so in other words, what we're not doing, we're not binding it off. Okay, we're just taking it, and you want to make sure it wraps around the first one. So you want to take it. This is what we just took off of here. And we want to put it through that one, that one. We want to get it through the 9 stitches. So whatever you do, be careful. Don't lose any of these stitches. Okay, and take them off your needles. All right. So we're going to take our yarn and we're going to pull it right here. So that's the top of your hat right there. Okay? It's the top right there. So now it says, gather up stitches firmly and secure, and then sew the back seam. Starting about 3 inches from the bottom, sew the seam on the reverse side as it will be turned up for the brim. Okay. So if you're sewing the seam on the reverse side, let's see. So 3 inches from the bottom, you're going to sew the seam on the reverse side. Okay, so that when you turn it up, you're not going to see the seam. Okay, so this is your right side. Okay, so what they're saying, so let's see, sew the seam on the reverse side. All right, I have to figure this out. I know, I'm the same way as you guys. Believe me, same way. Okay, so let me take a pause and I'll be right back. Okay, I didn't like what the directions said, so I just marked down here. I'm sewing on the wrong side of the hat because it doesn't really matter to me about the seam. If it does to you, do what the instruction says. To sew the seam, as you can tell, I am starting to sew the seam. Okay, you do have that little hole at the top that I just noticed, but I will fix that. I will put at the end an extra little stitch in there that I forgot. So I will fix that. And to seam, you want to try and see and match these up. Do not pull your stitches. I have one single strand of yarn. Do not pull, try to get your stitches to match. If they don't fret. You're not, a lot of times you're not going to. And I am just doing what they call like a blanket stitch, or I called it growing up an overhand stitch, but I believe they call it the blanket stitch. So I'm just trying to match up, as you can tell. I'm trying to match up. I'm not drawing it too tight. I'm trying to match up the stitches so you have a nice together hat. As you see, I'm not drawing them up too tight. I know this is like kind of a boring part, I guess, but we finished our hat. And I'm getting snow this weekend. Hopefully not a whole lot, so I'm going to need the hat. So the other project that I'm going to be working on with you guys, let me see here, I'll go through that one again, are gray gloves. So the gray actually that I'm using, the fingerless gloves, will actually go with this hat. So whatever color you make, whatever you start on first, whether it's the gloves, the hat pattern, find a yarn that you're either going to use the same yarn or the yarn that'll complement each other, and you will have a set. You'll have a hat and a glove set. See, so a lot of times you're not going to be matching up these stitches. So you kind of get the gist there of it. So I'm going to continue on all the way down, and then I'll put you back on. Okay. I want you guys to learn the right way. So I decided, now I turn the hat inside out. That's where the seam is. Okay. So I started seaming it on the wrong side. This is the right side because there's your little clip. I left 3 inches open. Okay. So I decided that, let me see here a second. And if the hat doesn't fit me, by the way, it's going on my granddaughter. Okay, so I had just decided, well, I'm just going to do it this way. Okay. So what you could do is fasten this off here, take this end and go up. But I just turned it back right side out. And I'm going to finish seaming up the 3 inches so that it doesn't, so that it'll do what it says. It won't show the seam. Now, as you can tell, it's not showing the seam that much anyway. See, that's where I seamed it. Yes, I have to work on my seaming. I agree. Okay. But that's where I seamed it. So I'm just doing this real quick. So that, because this is where your cuff is going to be. See, you can match up your stitches. Because your hat is going to have it cuffs up. Okay, so we're going to do that quick. Don't forget, I still have to fix the little hole that's in the top there because I didn't do it. See, I'm not pulling these stitches really tight. Okay. Oops, a little off. That's okay. I would probably, as a newcomer, pin that down together so that you don't do what I just did. But I fixed it. You know, this hat's for me. I'm not giving it to anybody. And I do want to teach you the right way, though. So, you know, just be careful. I would pin it down, you know, together like you would a seam. See, it's just a little off there. So I'm just going to go like that. Make sure it matches up. Make sure it matches up there. And this is your last one there. Okay. And because you are turning it up, you do want to make sure that the knot is going to be on the inside. And when I'm at that end, what I like to do for added security, I like to tie those 2 ends together, and you'll really have a good seam. Okay? So that's a good seam. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to hide the end. My seam is not the greatest. I apologize. Next time I'll be better. I admit I'm not good at seaming. So I'm just going to go up that way. That's hiding your end. Okay. I'm going to clip that right there. I'm going to actually, this we're going to hide better. But for the sake of, I don't want to be too long with you guys, I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to turn the hat back inside out, or I should say right side out. Let me see where our little thing is. It's, okay. So this is the right side of the hat. Okay. So I'm going to go this way, inside out, and I'll show you how I'm going to fix. See that little hole right there? You could put a pom-pom there. I'm not thrilled about that little hole there, so I'm not making a knot. I'm going to make one right now though. Okay. And I'm going to go one stitch through there, one stitch through there, and it'll just draw that right up. See? Okay. And I'm just going to secure it a little bit better right across, like that. And I'm going to tie these two ends together. So you can hide these stitches inside. They're inside, so I'll get a chance, I'll hide them. I'm going to clip that. All right, but I'll hide them better. So that hit it. This is the right side. We can take this little hook out now. Put that there. Again, like I said, we're going to hide that. Okay, this is our hat. That's where we seamed it. Yeah, I have a little, I think I have a slight little bulge there, but that's where where we seamed the hat. Okay. And when it says about cuffing it up, see where this is where we did that? We're going to cuff it up right now. Now, I will be right back with you. Okay, now that we're done with our hat, ta-da! This is what our finished product looks like. On the side, the back, the other sides. Now I cuffed it up a good 3.5 inches or so. And this is the front. So there's our finished hat. Everybody should be proud of themselves, really. It's not that hard to do this hat. Believe me, it's not. It's adorable. I'll put it on. I warn you, I don't look good in hats, so, but I'll put it on for you. Now, see that rib pattern, how it stretches? And that's what a ribbing is supposed to do. It's supposed to stretch like that. So, here we go. Nice winter hat. I told you, I warned you, I look terrible in hats. But that is a nice warm winter hat. You can put this down closer if you like. It's stretchy, and you can make, we're going to make gloves that will match this hat. It's a little poofy up here. If you don't like that, all you have to do is you can pull this ribbing up more and it'll be closer to your head. Or just pull it down more over your ear. See, you can just fold this up more. There we go. See? So, and that way, it'll fit just about any length of head. How tall, round. So, it will fit really, really well. Okay? So, I'm going to take our little hat off. Excuse me. But look, that's our finished product. That's our hat. So, we made a hat together. That is the first step. Of course, you know, there's some ends we have to put in, but I think it's great. Okay? First hat, the more you make, the better you'll get. Believe me. Okay. You know, it was a pleasure. Like I said, there's the hat. And there's the picture of it. Nothing ever really looks like in the picture, really. But look how cute the hat is. So it was a nice project that I did with you. Sorry for my hair. Yes, it's messy now. But, you know, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it myself. I learned a lot. I will put all the descriptions, all the information that you need to make this hat on the very first video. Everything will be on there on, you know, on knitting the hat. So it's a cute little hat. I'm even proud of myself. So keep watching for the projects. There'll be more to come. As you see, they take some time. So, you know, it'll come in time. All right. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and the like button and all that stuff. And we'll be back again with more projects with Yarn Craft Country. See you again. Bye-bye now.